Let's look at the interfacing of LCD display with 8051. Before we learn the interfacing diagram and the program, let's look at the pins of LCD display. VSS should be connected to ground. VCC should be connected to plus 5 volt. VEE is used to control the contrast. Then there is a pin called RS which stands for register select. There are two registers in the LCD, one to store the command and one to store data. And the register select pin should be at logic 0 to select the command register, and it should be 1 to select the data register. That is, when we send a command to the LCD, we should select register 0, that is command register, and when we send a data that has to be displayed to the LCD, we should select the data register, that is RS should be kept at logic 1. Then there is a read write pin which should be kept at logic 1 for read operation and at logic 0 for write operation. Then let's look at the data bus. The data bus of the LCD is 8-bit wide D7 to D0. The data and command are sent to the LCD using this data bus. And now let's look at the enable pin E. High to low pulse should be applied on this pin to store the data or command that is available on the data bus into the command register or the data register. We will place the data to be displayed on the data bus or the command that is to be sent to the LCD on the data bus, and then when we apply a high to low pulse on the enable pin, that is when this command or data gets stored into the LCD display. So after we apply an enable pulse, that is a high to low pulse on enable pin, only then will the LCD process the command or display the data that is sent to it. So that is all about the pins of the LCD. Now let's look at the interfacing diagram. See, this is the data bus of the LCD, D7 to D0. This should be connected to a port of 8051. Here we have connected it to port 1. Then there are the register select, read write and enable pins. They are also connected to different port pins of 8051. As you can see, RS is connected to P2.0, read write to P2.1 and enable to P2.2. Then if you look at the right hand side, you can see the connections for VCC, VEE and VSS. VCC is connected to plus 5 volt, VSS is connected to ground, and the fixed terminals of a potentiometer is connected to VCC and VSS. Its variable is connected to VEE pin, and when you vary the port, the contrast will change accordingly. So this is the interfacing diagram of the LCD display with 8051. Now before we write the program, we should learn a few more things about the LCD. The first thing to look at is the busy flag. The LCD will not accept a new data or command if it is busy. So that is indicated by the busy flag. If the busy flag is equal to 1, it means the LCD is busy and it will not accept a new data or a command if we send one to it. So before we send a new data or command, we should monitor the busy flag and make sure that it is equal to 0. So we have to read the busy flag, which is part of the command register. So to read, we have to read the busy flag. We should follow the following steps. This is a read operation, so the read write pin must be made equal to 1. Then the command register should be selected. For that, RS pin should be made equal to 0. And then The busy flag is the D7th bit. So we should read D7, which will give us the value of the busy flag. So once we check D7 and see that it is at logic 0, only then can we send a new data or command to the LCD display. If it is 1, we should wait. Now let's look at a few commands that are to be sent to the LCD. The first command is 01, that will clear the display. The next command is 06, which will shift the cursor right as we display new characters. Then the next command is 04. This will cause the cursor to be shifted left. Then 0E is the command to turn on the display and cursor. Then the next command is 80. This is the address of the first character of the first line of the LCD. So when we give this command, the cursor will be forced to the beginning of the first line. That is, it will occupy the first position of the first line when we send the command 80. Then the next command is 38. It configures the LCD as a two-line LCD display with each character represented by a 5 cross 7 matrix. Now let's look at the first figures. See, this is the LCD display. You can see that there are two lines, and if you look at the figure on the left, you can see that this character is displayed using a 5 cross 7 matrix. There are 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there are 7 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you give the command 38 to the LCD, it will become a two-line display, and each character in the display will be represented by a 5 cross 7 matrix. That is, there will be 5 cross 7 black boxes which can be used to display a particular character. So these are the commands that we will need to program our LCD display. Now let's look at the program for sending a character to the LCD display. Before we write the main program, we should write three different subroutines. One, to check if the LCD is ready to accept a new data or a command. Next one, to send a command, and the next to send a data that is to be displayed. The first subroutine is to check whether the LCD is ready or not. Let's look at the subroutine. It is named ready. This is the subroutine that will check whether the LCD is ready or not before sending a command or data. So the first step is to configure P1.7 as the input port. If you look at the interfacing diagram, you can see that D7 is connected to P1.7, and when we learned about the busy flag, we saw that we should read D7, which gives the value of the busy flag. So we should read the pin to which D7 is connected, and in the interfacing diagram we can see that D7 is connected to P1.7. To read D7, P1.7 should be configured as an input pin, and to do that we should set it, that is, we should write a 1 to the port latch of P1.7, and that is done through the instruction set bit P1.7. This instruction will configure P1.7 as an input pin. The next step is to select the command register. To select the command register, RS pin should be made equal to 0. RS is equal to 0 for command register. And if you look at the interfacing diagram, RS is connected to P2.0. To make RS 0, we should clear P2.0. So the instruction will be clear P2.0. This will make RS equal to 0 and the command register will be selected. The next step is to select the read operation. To select the read operation, the read write pin should be made 1. A 1 should be applied to the read write pin which is connected to P2.1. So the instruction will be set bit P2.1. This will select read operation. Now we have configured P1.7 as the input pin. We have selected the command register and we have selected the read operation. Now we should apply a low to high pulse on the enable pin to read a value from the LCD display. For that we should give a low value on P2.2, call a delay and then set it high. See, you can see that the enable pin is connected to P2.2 and we should send a low to high pulse on this pin to read a read a bit of data. So clear P2.2 will make the pin low, then you should call a small delay. Then you should set P2.2 high. Set bit P2.2 will bring it to the high value, logic 1. So when these three instructions are executed, a low to high pulse will appear on E. Now we can read P1.7, that is the busy flag. The instruction for that is JB P1.7 back. Now the ready subroutine is written with the intention that the program execution should remain in this subroutine as long as the busy flag is high. That is, we should wait here until the busy flag becomes 0. That is, when we come out of this subroutine, we should be able to send a new data or command. So, we will check whether P1.7 is high. If it is high, it means the LCD is busy. We will again check. So we will jump to back. Back is the label of the instruction where you will send another low to high pulse on the enable pin to read the busy flag again. So as long as P1.7 is high, that is as long as the busy flag is high, we will continuously check P1.7. We will send a low to high pulse on enable and see what is the value of P1.7, that is the value of the busy flag. If it is 1, jump to back, again check. We will continue in this fashion until P1.7, that is the busy flag, becomes 0. When the busy flag becomes 0, that is when P1.7 becomes 0, we will return to the calling program. So what does the ready subroutine do actually? It waits on the busy flag and when the busy flag becomes 0, it returns to the calling program. Now let's look at the next subroutine. That subroutine is to send a command to the LCD display. And this subroutine is written with the assumption that the command is now available in the accumulator. So this subroutine will send the command that is available in the accumulator to the LCD display. So the first step in this subroutine is to call the ready subroutine, which will check whether the busy flag is set or not. If the LCD is ready, then we will return to this program. If it is not ready, we will continue here and will return only when the LCD becomes ready. So we will call ready and when we return from ready, we are ready to send a new command to the LCD display. So we have assumed that the command is available in the accumulator. It should be sent to the data bus of the LCD display. If you look at the interfacing diagram, you can see that the data bus of the LCD display is connected to port 1. So the accumulator content should be sent to port 1. Move P1, A. the content of the accumulator, that is the instruction or command, will be sent to port 1. Now this alone will not do the job. We have to select the command register. For that, we know that we should make rs equal to 0 to select the command register, and the instruction for that is clear P2.0. You can see that rs is connected to P2.0. So clear P2.0 will make rs 0 and the command register will be selected. Then you have to choose write operation. Now you are sending a data to the LCD. This is a write operation. To select write operation, you should make the read write pin equal to 0, and that pin is connected to P2.1. It should be cleared. Clear P2.1 will select write operation. The next step is to send a high to low pulse on the enable pin. Only when you send a high to low pulse on the enable pin will the command on the data bus get stored into the command register, and so that the LCD can operate on it. So you have to send a high to low pulse on the enable pin. The enable pin is connected to P2.2. So to send a high to low pulse, set P2.2, call delay, clear P2.2. A high to low pulse will appear on enable, and now the command gets stored in the command register of the LCD, and it will act according to the command. After that, we will return from this subroutine. Now let's look at the subroutine that will send a data to be displayed on the LCD. So the subroutine for that is named data display. To send a new data to the LCD, it should be ready. So to check that, we will call the ready subroutine, a call ready. So program execution will be transferred to this subroutine, where you will wait until the busy flag becomes 0, that is until the LCD display becomes ready. When it is ready, we will return to the calling program, that is we will return to this instruction. So when we reach this point, the LCD is ready to accept a new data. And this subroutine data display is written with the assumption that the data to be displayed is available in the accumulator. So move P1, A will copy the contents of the accumulator, that is the data to be displayed, to port 1. Port 1, as you know, is connected to the data bus of the LCD. So the data to be displayed now becomes available on the data bus of the LCD display. Now, in this case, the register to be selected is the data register. For that, the RS pin should be made equal to 1. This is the data that is to be displayed. So, RS should be made equal to 1 to select the data register. And RS is connected to P2.0. So, we should set that pin high, set with P2.0. Next, we have to choose the write operation. We are sending the data to the LCD display. This is a write operation, and for that you should clear P2.1, which is connected to the read write pin. Then you have to send a high to low pulse on the enable pin, so that the data at the data bus gets stored into the data register. For that, you have to set P2.2 high, call a delay, and clear P2.2. After these three instructions are executed, the data at the data bus will get stored in the data register, and it will be displayed. If you compare the command subroutine with the data display subroutine, you can see that all the instructions except the one that selects the command register and data register are the same. The only difference in these two subroutines is the selection of data register and command register. If you are sending a command, the command register should be selected. So you have to clear P2.0. If you are sending a data, the data register has to be selected, so you have to set P2.0. Other than that, all the instructions are the same. Now we have seen the three subroutines that will check whether the LCD is ready and wait until it becomes ready. the one that will send a command stored in the accumulator to the LCD, and the one that will send the data to be displayed that is stored in the accumulator to the LCD. Now we can look at the main program. So the main program we are going to write is display the letter capital N in the LCD display. So before we send the letter N, we should send all the required commands to the LCD display. The first command that we should send is 38. 38 is the command that selects a two-line display and a 5x7 matrix for display of a character. So we have written the command subroutine with the assumption that the command is available in the accumulator. So the first step is to store the command into the accumulator, and then you can call the command subroutine. So move a comma hash 38h will load this command into the accumulator. Then you can call the command subroutine, a call command. Now in the command subroutine, the ready subroutine will be called, and when the LCD becomes ready, this command will be sent through to the database of the LCD, and it will be stored into the command register. When we return from the command subroutine, we have to send another command. We have to turn on the display and cursor. The command for that is 0E. So next we will store 0E into the accumulator. Move a comma hash 0E and call the command subroutine, which will copy it into the command register of the LCD, and the LCD will act accordingly. The next command is 01. This will clear the display. After 01 is copied to the accumulator, we will call command subroutine. When we return from the command subroutine, we will give the command 0sets, move a comma hash 0sets h, which is the command to shift the cursor right. After copying 0sets into the accumulator, a call command will call the command subroutine. Since this is also a command, 0sets is also a command. Next, we have to send the position where our character should be displayed, and the command for that is move a comma hash 86h, where 86 is the command. Everything that begins with 8 will be displayed on the first line, and 80 is the first position of the first line. So 86 will be the 7th position of the first line. So if you send 86 as a command, this character will be displayed at the 7th position. Now call command so that this command gets stored in the command register, and LCD will act accordingly. After that, now we have already sent all the commands that is required to make the LCD ready to display our data. So after all the commands are sent, we can now send the data to be displayed. What is the data? It is the letter N, and the letter N cannot be sent as such. We have to send the ASCII code of N, and the method to get the ASCII code is to give N within single quotes. So move a comma hash N within single quotes will copy the ASCII code of capital N into the accumulator. Now the date value in the accumulator is the data to be displayed. So we have to call the data display subroutine, which will cause this value, that is the ASCII code of capital N, to be stored into the data register of the LCD display, and the LCD display will show it on the display. So once you have sent the character, you can end your program in a never-ending loop, in a continuous loop. Here, sjump here. So the main program is easy, because you just have to copy the command into the accumulator and call the command subroutine. And when you have to send a data, you have to copy the data into the accumulator and call data display. But you have to write all the three subroutines after the main program. All these three subroutines should be written, and you should learn these subroutines carefully. And to be able to learn the subroutines, you should know the interfacing diagram well. So first you have to learn the interfacing diagram well, and you should learn the functions of each of these pins, learn the three subroutines, then you can write the program to display a character or a small word. So now let's look at a program that will display a small word. Let's display the word new on the LCD display. So we don't have to repeat all the commands here. We already have seen them in the previous program. We have to give all these commands first. 38 will select a 2-line 5x7 matrix. We have to turn on the cursor and the display 0E will do that. The cursor should be shifted right after each character. 06 will do that. Then you have to send the position where you will display your data. After all these commands have been sent to the LCD is ready to display the data. So to display the word new, we have to send the characters one by one. First, we will copy the ASCII code of n into the accumulator. Move a comma hash n within single quotes will do that. Then call data display. A call data display. After that, you should copy the ASCII code of E into the accumulator. Move a comma hash E within single quotes. The ASCII code of E will be copied to the accumulator. Now a call data display will display it. Then copy W into the accumulator. Move a comma hash W within single quotes will store the ASCII code of W into the accumulator, and you can call data display to display W. So when all these instructions are executed, you can see the word new displayed on the LCD display, and you can end your program in a never ending loop. So this program and the interfacing of LCD display, I think it will be clear if you go through this video. If you have any doubts regarding this program, please clarify them in the regular class, that is during the live class. I will not be teaching this in a live class. I think or I expect you to understand this program completely from this video lecture itself, and we will clear your doubts in the next live class. Please go through this video a few times. Don't expect to get everything right the first time you watch it. And this program has been asked in the MG University exams. I think KTU, I don't remember KTU asking this question. Um, Thank you.